Only 2 stocks scored green on the drift today, and yet one generic drug maker just printed a textbook double bottom. Gainster found it. Let's break it down.
This is your Drive Score update for August 18th, 2026, US Eastern Time.
Market overview. We're sitting in an uptrend defensive regime. The trend is still technically up, but the market is flashing caution signals with 6 distribution days on the books. Out of 15 stocks on the watch list, only 2 scored green with drift scores of 80 or above, while 13 sit in the yellow zone. That's a lean green count. Translation: be selective, size down, and demand pristine setups before you commit capital. If you want these drive scores delivered daily, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a setup. Today's headlines. Nucor is getting a triple tailwind, seeking alpha, makes the strong buy case. Tariff protections are shielding domestic margins. New capacity is ramping, and the infrastructure spending wave is pulling demand forward. For steel investors, NUE sits at the intersection of policy support and real-world demand. Eli Lilly is clawing back ground in the weight loss pill race. Investors Business Daily reports LLY is erasing Novo Nordisk's early lead in oral obesity treatments. This isn't just a pipeline story anymore, it's a market share battle, and Lilly's execution is putting real pressure on the competition. Howmet Aerospace keeps flexing its defense muscles. Zacks highlights the company's firm positioning in defense and aerospace, asking whether there's more upside ahead with defense budgets globally on the rise. Howmet's specialty components business looks well anchored. Stock spotlights. Avnet ticker AVT pulls a drive score of 80 and a relative strength of 87. This technology distributor carved a cup pattern, dipping from 95.26 down to 80.13 before climbing back to $100 even. Now it's shaping a handle near 91.56. The breakout trigger sits at $100. Today's 3.6% pullback is actually forming that handle. Watch for volume to dry up before the next push. TWLO ticker TWLO scores a 70 drive with a strong relative strength of 93. This software infrastructure name carved a double bottom with 2 lows at 180.36 and 179.20. The neckline sits at 238.48. Today it closed at 232.10, just a few percent below that trigger. If the broader software group catches a bid, TWLO could snap through that neckline quickly. Nucor ticker NUE earns a drive score of 70 with a relative strength of 88. The steel giant built a cup from 270.90 down to 214.61, then rallied back to 280.11. The handle is forming near 263.11 with the breakout level at 280.11. Pair this with today's bullish seeking alpha coverage and you've got a fundamental technical convergence worth tracking. The Lilly ticker LLY also scores a 70 drive with 87 relative strengths. This pharma heavyweight sculpted a massive cup, dropping from 11.99 all the way down to 8.51 before recovering to 11.8273. The handle pulled back to 10.7922. Today's 2.1% gain pushed it to 12.25. It's already broken above the cup rim. The weight loss drug momentum could fuel further upside from here. Howmet Aerospace ticker HWM notches a 70 drive score and 86 relative strength. The cup pattern here ran from 267.31 down to 2051, then recovered to 290.64. The handle sits at 258.59. Today it closed at 292.65, already above the breakout level of 290.64. With defense aerospace tailwinds in the news, this breakout has fundamental backing. OKTA ticker OKTA rounds out our spotlights with a 70 drive and 81 relative strength. Another cup with handle in software infrastructure. The cup dropped from 142.35 to 107, even then climbed back to 156.39. The handle is forming right at 142.13. Breakout trigger is 156.39. It's coiling. Patient money could be rewarded here. If this analysis is saving you research time, smash that like button. It helps more traders find these drive scores. Today's top pick. The number one drive score today goes to Amneal Pharmaceuticals kicker AMRX with a commanding 90 out of 100. This specialty and generic drug maker has carved a textbook double bottom like a boxer, hitting the canvas twice at 1645 and 1677, then bouncing right back up. The neckline trigger is 1926 at 1819 today. It's coiling just below that breakout level. The relative strength sits at 90, meaning AMRX is outperforming 90% of the market in a defensive regime where most stocks score yellow. A 90 drive score is a rare green beacon. The risk a broad market pullback could drag even the strongest setups below their pivot. Here's my question for you. In an uptrend defensive market, do you tighten stops or reduce position size? Drop your answer in the comments.
Honorable mentions.
The rest of the watch list rounds out with 15 names total. Keep an eye on TWLO with that 93 relative strength, strongest in the group, and Nuker riding the tariff tailwind narrative. These are the best stocks to buy now in August 2026 if setups trigger. Remember, drive scores update daily, so what's yellow today could be green tomorrow.
Here's what I keep coming back to in a defensive regime. The stocks that hold their patterns are telling you something. They're the ones with real institutional demand behind them, not just momentum tourists. Watch AMRX and that 1926 neckline closely tomorrow. I'll be tracking whether Howmet can hold above its breakout and if the software names start catching bids. Until then, this is Gainster. Trade the setup, not the story. See you tomorrow.